Hi, Shivdya.
Hi, I'm Manish. Sorry, I hadn't changed my name. So anybody logs in, this account is on Shividya's name. So it will prompt Shividya's name actually. Change my name.
Okay, okay, no problem, Abhinav.
Uh, Out of the 11 registrations, we spoke with everyone. Seems
Mm-hmm.
about five, six should definitely join. Let's see. Let's see.
Okay,
Even if three, four folks join, we can go ahead.
no problem.
Okay. I'll just play some, BG background music, and we'll wait for people to join in. Okay.
Okay,
And I'll
okay,
share screen, so you don't need to. But once you do the demo, then of course, once you end the slides, then you can then we can unshare and you can share your screen.
okay, no problem.
Yeah, you are anyways you are in the panel, so you can do that anytime.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. We'll be starting really shortly. Sorry, but we'll be yeah. So we will be starting really shortly, as per our designated time. We'll give it about 2 more minutes, and we'll start at 3:30. Yeah. And thank you everyone who's joined us a bit early. We'll start in another 2 minutes, right? Thank you. Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on streamlining supplier collaboration processes with Velocious. I hope you can, I hope you can hear me. Right. Please, if anybody can confirm in the chat if you're able to hear me, see the screen.
Yes, Abhinav, I can see. I can hear you as well.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. Right. So let me quickly go through the housekeeping items first. We have this very, just give me a second. Yeah. Right. So we have this very concise webinar for about 45 minutes. All lines are muted for clarity purpose, but should you have any questions during the course of the webinar, please feel free to utilize the chat or the Q&A section, and we'll be happy to take it as in when it comes, as in when your queries come, right? We'll keep it very interactive. The last thing we would want to do it is to make it a kind of a monologue, so we'll keep it very interactive. As I said, the total duration is about 45 minutes. We have reserved few minutes towards the end for the Q&A, but should you have any questions, please utilize the chat or the Q&A section. Okay. Having said that, I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Abhinav. I am from the marketing team at Avali Solutions. I have been accompanied by Mr. Manish Kumar, who is part of the Velocious team here at Avali. Right. So the agenda for today's webinar is to get into the depth of, basically why supplier collaboration might be key to success for many large enterprises. We'll give you an understanding of Velocious source-to-pay platform, which of course has a, is a known tool for sourcing as well as supplier collaboration. We'll look at supplier collaboration modules within the whole source-to-pay platform. We'll look at its features, benefits of implementing it, and followed by a demo to give you a look and feel of how the solution is and walk you through few, of course, if the time permits, walk you through some of these, features and modules within the supplier collaboration framework, right? Okay, so why supplier collaboration is key for many large enterprises, right? And as basically, if you see and you've seen some of the past events, with respect to COVID, or and the important result or the important causal, the cause or rather the effect that it had was that there was a lot of supply chain disruptions. As a result, companies around the world are in general also shifting towards global supply chains, which might allow them to kind of source material and maybe manufacture products more cost effectively, but it definitely comes with its ease, with its challenges, right? It can make it difficult to kind of connect with the right folks within the supply chain, resolve concerns, respond quickly to any kind of changes or any expected events, right? So about say 60% of organizations did experience some sort of supply chain disruption way back in 2019, 2020, 2021, right? And again, we are seeing, as per the recent reports, about 75% of, US companies were affected, right? Now, this, of course, is about 2-3 years back, right? But it has gone so, it's consensus that you have to build a resilient, a strong supply chain for competing in the market, right? Right. And collaboration, therefore, becomes very important. It's important for business to grow, where to collaborate, where to combine strengths. They should know how to effectively communicate with, kind of common understanding, have set clear goals and all of that, right? Basically to enhance supplier relationships, right? Now, the other part is also accountability. The companies that actually understand how to motivate supplier collaboration, or how to optimize supplier collaboration, they manage their relationships accordingly and in a far more accountable manner to each other, and they of course benefit more as opposed to companies who do not give a lot of priority to their supplier collaboration initiatives, right? So those benefit of participating in supplier collaboration, of course, include improvement in your business performance, customer satisfaction, market share, revenue, so on and so forth. And of course, you get a competitive edge as well, which is the nice segue to my third point. So according to a recent McKinsey survey of about, say 500 large companies across sectors, companies that actually regulated or rather regularly acted on collaboration initiatives had higher growth, lower operating cost, as well as greater profitability than other competitors in their sectors. So this, of course, why collaboration, supplier collaboration is needed. That is the first aspect. The second aspect, of course, is challenges in implementing supplier collaboration initiatives. First, of course, is that experts and leaders, though they often agree that there is a need of change in mindset as to how procurement is being looked at. Procurement must actually move from a cost savings to a value creation kind of a hub. Uh, this actually basically prevents supply chain initiatives from running smoothly within the business. So on the top, there is absence of maybe C-suite leadership or C-suite influence in the function. There's lack of support and sponsorship. So basically, by driving value beyond savings and kind of supporting the wider business goals, right? Procurement can be a key function as an enabler of innovation. So it has to move from cost savings to value creation. Then, of course, choosing the right suppliers, the main of the achieving innovation through supplier collaboration is what organizations are definitely looking at. Companies actually are choosing the right suppliers who will be the best potential to, who would have the best potential to innovate. But this cannot be kind of tackled through, say, how do you call it? Traditional segmentation, which generally might cover supplier spend, company size, geography. So there has to be a clear method to kind of filter the companies, filter them in terms of companies who tend to struggle when it comes to partnering with suppliers and startups, or so you have to properly segment them, right? So choosing the right supplier definitely becomes very imperative if you're looking to have kind of implement better supplier collaboration initiatives. Third, of course, is measuring success. As you say, what doesn't get measured, doesn't basically, doesn't improve, right? So procurement metrics have always focused on, say, cost savings, but that's because the C-suite has kind of, or other key stakeholders have traditionally directed the sourcing and the procurement teams to focus on cost savings, right? So innovation is also very hard to measure. So by having more visibility over innovation projects, generally companies will be able to track their performance and therefore provide a better ROI to the business, right? The fourth part is, of course, internal communication and collaboration. So in order to collaborate with suppliers for innovation, companies generally have to achieve internal alignment as well. Company who tend to kind of collaborate internally as much as they do externally, they are definitely achieve better results, right? So it's key to enter, for the entire business to understand their business, initiatives when it comes to supply chain, suppliers, procurement, sourcing, and and the last bit of this is becoming embedded in the company strategy. And I touched upon this theme in all of these, earlier, aspects, earlier points. But supply chain initiatives definitely tend to succeed when they are sponsored by the entire business. Leaders and CXOs who promote these initiatives increase their chances of success, right? So having multiple champions and sponsors across the business will definitely help continuity of these supplier collaboration initiatives, even though when the leadership might change, right? So these are some of the basically some of the challenges when it comes to implementing supplier collaboration, right? Now, Velocious source to pay platform, or rather Velocious sourcing and supplier collaboration platform, is a comprehensive platform that kind of, with your superior UI UX, it can integrate with any leading API solution, yeah. So, and it's replete with features that kind of cater to supplier collaboration, right? And, kind of challenges those traditional way of doing things and kind of deriving greater value from automating many manual practices. And of course, Manish will get into the depth of these supplier collaboration practices. But before that, I'll quickly give you a guide or write up the whole flow from a source to pay perspective, right? And where, apart from supplier collaboration, where are the other aspects also where the Velocious source to pay platform can cater to, right? So this is the typical source to pay chain or cycle where it starts from your PR data synchronization, so that you do not miss out on, data is synchronized, right? Then of course you look at RFQ releasing, creating, conducting, or releasing these RFQs so that you can get supplier responses and you can award contracts. So this RFQ and reverse auction is of course the e-sourcing module, which of course Velocious can take care of. Then eventually the supply chain aspect moves on to supplier contracting and contract creation in the original ERP. So that can be taken care by as you can see by any RPA or any third party solution. And then of course supplier onboarding can be taken care within the Velocious source to pay platform, supplier master, supplier profile management, and then eventually moving to supplier data update in ERP, PO creation, PO visibility to the inbound delivery of the goods, PO confirmation, three-way match, invoice upload and validation, invoice processing, and bill payment. So throughout this cycle, the processes that you see in the blue circle are those processes that can be done via the Velocious platform, Velocious source to pay platform. Processes that are in the green circle can be catered to via RPA or API or a third-party solution. And the process which is in the purple circle can be catered to via either a package solution, invoice automation solution like a OpenText Vim or a Kofax AP Essential, or even via confluence of technologies like a IDP plus IDP plus RPA combination, right? So this is the typical flow I wanted to get you through, right? So I'll pause for a second. If you have any questions, just maybe use the chat or the Q&A section. Otherwise, we'll quickly move on. We have to cover lots, and we have to kind of do it in time. So just let us know if you have any questions. I'll move forward. Let us know if you have any questions, right? Okay, so why Velocious? And these are some of the key differentiators when it comes to the comparison with different products that would be available in the market. So it has seamless integration it provides seamless integration with any leading ERP or any API or accounts payable invoice automation solution that you might have, as I mentioned, like an OpenText Vim or a Kofax of solution. It basically, the automation of manual data entry and workflows can be streamlined as a result of that. It has it is a single go-to solution which can cover all the source to pay process, right from as I said in the previous slide, in the entire source to pay process from sourcing to procurement, supplier collaboration processes. It has a very user friendly interface, and I'll talk to you about this particular point when I move to my next some of my next slides, where I cover a case study of Oil India, where we implemented this solution and how Oil India's huge supplier base did not require too much of extensive training for them to adopt this solution. So it's a very user-friendly interface. Their UI UX is very user-friendly. It has seamless access to from any device. Accessibility and user adoption is one of the key strengths of these solution. Strong collaboration features. So of course we will be talking about supplier collaboration and how they see superior experience when they log in and they search in different maybe data that might be required or submitting their invoices or whatever, right? It has faster decision making as a result of the insight analytics that are available in terms of dashboards and reports. And of course, it is also a very flexible and adaptable solution that can cater to your enterprise needs. It's not very rigid in that term, right? So yeah, this is why Velocious source to pay or a supplier collaboration platform. It's also ISO certified. We have taken care of utmost, security. We have followed utmost security initiatives, governance. So it is ISO 27001 2013 certified. Now, my last bit before I hand it over to Manish is the Oil India case study, right? Oil, of course, as we know, is one of the largest Indian government-owned oil exploration and production corporation. And as a result, as a part of their digital transformation journey, they were looking at, because they had huge supplier base, about 16,000 plus suppliers, they were looking at standardizing their communication process, which was not optimized, had a lot of manual touch points. The transparency was missing, visibility was missing, right? But more than anything else, supplier collaboration had to improve if they were to move forward and do business with all of these suppliers, right? The supplier clarification handling process was cumbersome. The turnaround time to suppliers was abysmal. They wanted to also create a repository for storing all of the documents like contracts, POs, invoices, basically supplier or finance related documents, transaction related documents. So we implemented the Velocious S2P solution, and as a result of that, they saw better satisfaction across their supplier base because the collaboration became more seamless. The reduction in invoice processing cycle time was huge. The turnaround time to supplier queries was very, it was very faster. Lesser turnaround time. So on and so forth, right? So this is a very high level. Of course, detailed case study is available on our website, and also we'll share this deck with you once we complete this webinar. But yeah, that's what I wanted to cover. I'll quickly hand over to my colleague Manish, who will walk you through some of these modules, Velocious supplier collaboration modules, followed by a quick demo of the supplier collaboration modules, right? So thank you very much. Over to you, Manish.
Yeah, thank you, Abhinav, and hello to everyone. So moving to supplier collaboration, talking about talking detail in it. So I would start from the supplier onboarding part, where we do have an option where buyer can send the invite to supplier to register into this portal, or even supplier can go ahead and register themselves into the system. After that, it will follow the approval channel, which you can see that, which can be customized as per your need. And then supplier will receive a notification from buyer side along with a link, as well as they'll be having a user ID and password. So once they click on the link, then there would be an onboarding form which we will open, where we have a different steps which they need to fill it, and they need to upload the certain documents, supporting documents as well, so that it will get validated by the buyer as well as the vendor master team. Once each and everything is finalized, when vendor gets the final approval, then vendor would be having access to log in into this portal. Abhinav, can you scroll down? So this is the supplier onboarding form, which onboarding process. We can see that, here we do have an option. Uh, 1 second. Uh,
Yeah.
no, Abhinav, can you please bring the laser, the
Yeah,
pointer?
sure. Yes. Or yeah, let me do.
Or do you want me to share it?
Yeah, you can share it. Yes, of course.
Yeah, no problem.
Just a moment. We'll just be back.
You need to give me the access to
Yeah.
present the screen.
Let me just. Yeah. Can you share screen now? Just check.
Let me check. No, still it's disabled.
Okay. You should be able to do it now.
Yes. Okay, hope you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
So yes, I was talking about that, this is the approval, this is the login of admin, super admin, where all the approval can be tracked here. Here we do have an option if there is any requirement or any information or supporting document is missing from the supplier side, then we do have an option to raise a query at every level, at every, L1, L2, L3 level, where they can go ahead and raise the query. And even we do have an option here to upload a sample document, which your internal team would be looking from the supplier side. Moving to then even, if there is any change you want to see here, what was the original data and now what supplier has change the information, that also can be tracked here. Okay, so again, whatever the changes which they are making it, you see that here old value and the new value. So whatever the data they are making, they're doing a edit on the data. So again, it will follow the approval channel, where each and every details would be validated by the internal team, and then they can provide the update approval here. And after that, once provide the approval, it will push, data will be pushed to your ERP, where information will be saved. Then we do have an option called order visibility and advanced shipment notification to generate. So here supplier can supply. So whatever the order would be created into ERP, we will extract those data from your ERP to this portal. After that, vendor would be having access to see their orders. They can see the open and closed POs. They can even go ahead and acknowledge the PO. Okay. And even they can raise a account advanced shipment notification wherein supplier is confirming back to supplier to buyer that they are going to ship the material. They are also confirming their career. Even the tracking number also they are providing in it. Based on that, buyer can go ahead and create the inbound delivery, and also they can go ahead and confirm the order in the ERP itself. We do have an option where supplier can go ahead and upload the invoice once, like, they deliver the material and GR has been posted against that PO. So supplier would be having access to upload those invoices here. So here we do have a multiple option, like they can go ahead and upload PO invoice, non-PO invoice, freight invoice, contract invoice. Even if they have bulk invoice which they want to upload at once, that also can be done here. Once they upload the invoice into this portal, it will follow the validation process where each and every invoice would be validated by the buyer who creates the PO. Uh, and if there would be any, you can say that, exception, if there is any information which is not matching as per the PO or as per the delivery happens, then buyer can go ahead and raise a query to supplier. And if there is no response we are receiving from supplier, then buyer would be having that the buyer would be having the access to reject the invoice as well. Once each and every information would be validated, and if buyer feels that that invoice which has been submitted by the supplier is correct, so buyer can approve that and they can push the invoice to the ERP where invoice processing and posting will happen. Also, along with the upload part, even by supplier would be having an option to go ahead and track their invoices. They can track the status of the invoices. Also, we have a feature here where supplier can go ahead and request for the early payment for the invoice which they have submitted. Okay, that is what I said, that once validation will be done, then invoice process and posting will happen. Okay, let me log into this tool, and let me show you the current feature which we have into this portal. So here you can see that this is the landing page we have, where you can see that there are some messages which is floating here. Okay, so here in help and support, once we click here, so there supplier would be having access to go through the user manuals. Even, like, we have uploaded demo videos which can be useful for them to register into this portal. Even they can go ahead and view the orders, they can upload the invoice. How to do this, they can go ahead and take help from this video, and they can process, they can do this activity. So as I said, that there are two options here. One, buyer can send the invitation to supplier to get registered into this portal, or even supplier can also fill the registration form. This is the registration form which supplier has to fill along with the GST number and PAN number details they are supposed to provide it, and even the contact number. Once they click on submit click on submit, then there would be a OTP which would be going to their mobile phone, where they need to enter it and resubmit it again. Okay, once they register this, once they fill this form, then this is the buyer login which we have, where 1 second, please. One sec. 1 second. 1 second, please. So once a supplier fills that uh, the onboarding registration form, then here we do have the approval process, where each and every details would be validated by the label one or the approver here. If they find each and every information is filled by the supplier is correct, they can go ahead and provide the approval here. So here we have a BPMN approval engine here. This can be modified as per your company hierarchy. If you want to add some more approval here, that also can be done. And you can see that start date and end date also we are tracking. When it came to your your bucket to approve this and when you have approved it. So this also can be modified if there is any requirement. Once this is done, then supplier would be getting a notification along with onboarding form, which supplier has to click that link and then this form will open. So here you can see that we have a different steppers like general data, contact person, statutory information, payment information, financial information, product information, other information. So these fields, they need to provide the certain details, and also they need to upload the supporting documents. Here I'll just let you know we do have one more feature here. Once supplier enter the GST number along with the PAN number, here we do have a validation. We have a tie-up with different GSPs where we are getting an option to make API call to validate this information, the GST and PAN number. Once this would be validated, then this address field which you see here, by default it will get filled here, because at the time of applying the GST and PAN number, whatever the data they have provided, those details will be coming here once it gets validated. If this does not get validated by the on API call, supplier would not be able to move further. They need to go ahead and check their GST number and PAN number which they have provided. Okay, they just need to click here, save and continue. It will move to a different steppers where we have a contact information which supplier has to go ahead and provide the. Then we have a statutory information where a supplier has to provide the company registration number, MSME number, Udyog Aadhaar number, GST number, and also they need to go ahead and upload the supporting documents. So these fields are customizable. If you have a different compliance, if you want to add some of the new field here, or you want to remove some of the field from here, that also can be done. Moving next, so here we have a payment information where they are supposed to provide the bank information. So here also we do have a validation process where once they provide the account number and IFSC code, there would be a validate button here, which will validate the account holder name. So again, there would be a API call which will be made to a government portal, which would validate the account holder name here. In financial information, they can provide the last 3 years of revenue. Then same like we have here product information. So here supplier can go ahead and provide the information about product and the services which they are providing into. Even if they want to go ahead and upload the catalog, that also can be done here. In other information, again, they are supposed to provide the CEO, size of the company, nature of the business, type of the company. So details they can provide here. Once they click save and continue, here they would be getting an option to preview the details, whatever the data they have entered and supporting document which they have uploaded. They can click here on the term and condition and they can submit it. Once they submit it, this data will be coming to your internal team called buyer, where buyer can just go ahead and see the details which has been filled by the supplier and the documents which they have uploaded here. If buyer is looking for some information which is not provided by the supplier, or the document which is not been uploaded by the supplier, so here buyer would be having an option to go ahead and raise a query. So this is the query management system which we have here, where buyer can just click here on raise query. They can type a comment here and they can provide a sample document. If they have, they can go ahead and upload it. Okay, and click here raise. Once buyer receive that information from supplier, again it will follow the approval channel here. Okay, and each and every level of approver has to approve this this form. Then only supplier would be able. So once the final approval will happen, so here we have certain information which would be coming from SAP only. So the order currency, payment term, Incoterm, Sigma group, purchase group, each and every information has to be selected here by the approver, and they can provide the comment, and here the approver has the option to approve or reject. Okay, once the final approval will happen, this data will be pushed to your ERP, where a vendor code would be generated, and later vendor would be notified with the vendor code. Then vendor can go ahead and log in into the system. I'll take a pause here. If you have any questions, then please let me know. Okay. So now moving to orders. So here you see that in supplier collaboration, we are providing access to a supplier to go ahead and view the order which has been processed by the buyers. And here we are having a status called open and closed. In open status, where all the open order would be available here, which supplier can see it here when the order was processed, what was the total value of the orders. They can go ahead and preview uh, the purchase order here. This is the header and this is the line item part. Here also we are coming up with option where supplier can go ahead and acknowledge the order. They can click on acknowledged. They can select the line item details will open here. They can select the line item, and if they feel or that they would not be able to deliver the goods or services within this delivery date, then they can go ahead and change it. Okay, and click here confirm. Once they click on confirm, then buyer will receive a notification from supplier side that order has been confirmed by the supplier. If there is any change which buyer see in the order confirmation, then buyer can go ahead and modify the PO into ERP. Okay. And in closed POs, where supplier can see that order which has been already processed, where they have delivered the material and also they have received the payment. Then we have an option for supplier that ASN, that is advanced shipment notification. Here what happens that supplier would be having an option to notify the buyer well in advance. They just need to click here new shipment notice. After that, all the open PO would be visible here. They can select the PO, click here, go to next. And here they are supposed to provide certain information like invoice number, invoice date, when the shipment will happen, what is the estimated delivery date, shipment method, carrier name, tracking number. Okay, they can select the line item here. And if here also we are giving an option that if supplier is not able to deliver the complete order at once, then they can provide the number of quantity which they are shipping it here. Okay, they cannot ship the extra quantity. Whatever the order quantity is, they are supposed to deliver that much only. Okay, then they can create here shipment notice. Once they create that, again buyer will get a notification here, so where they can go ahead and see that information which has been shared by the supplier. Okay, even buyer can go ahead and download this option, and they can use these details uh, while posting the inbound delivery. They can just scan the QR code and they can post the inbound delivery as well. Okay, now I'll be moving to invoice option, where as I was saying when I was presenting the slides, so we are capturing here multiple options. Here supplier can submit PO invoice, non-PO invoice, freight invoice, contract invoice, bulk invoice. Okay, I'll just give you an example of, let's say that PO invoice they are going to upload. So once they click on PO invoice, all the open POs will open here. Okay, they can select the open PO, click on next. Here supplier would be having an option to upload the invoice copy. The supported formats is PDF. Maximum allowed size which we are giving is 10 MB, which is customizable here. We can enlarge or we can extend the length as well. They can click here on upload. Okay, now I'm uploading a invoice. Now system is checking here, doing a backend job, which will identify whether the invoice which is getting uploaded by the supplier is IRN based invoice or digitally signed or not. You can see that now there is a blue tick here, so which says that the invoice which has been uploaded by the supplier is IRN, and also it has a digital sign. So how it happens is, whatever the QR code would be there on the invoice copy, system will read that, system will scan the QR code, and it will identify whether it is IRN invoice or and digitally signed or not. If so, here you see that it is IRN based and digitally signed, and that's the reason you see that system has captured these details like purchase order, vendor code, invoice number, currency, gross amount, invoice date, GST number. So this the information is coming from the invoice only. Okay, here just supplier has to manually calculate the GST value. Let's say that, and now supplier has to select the line item and they need to confirm the invoice quantity which they are going to invoice now. Let's say that they are going to invoice 10 quantity. We'll move it to next. Here, system is asking to supplier if they want to go ahead and upload any supporting documents. Okay, so that also supplier can go ahead and do it. Okay, then they can click here next. Here supplier can see the preview of the invoice which they have submitted. So this is the header part and this is the line item part. They can cross check. They can see the invoice. They can see the documents which they have uploaded here. They just need to check the box here. Just give me a second. So they can check the agree box here and click here on submit. Once they submit this invoice, then there would be a notification which buyer will receive, and where buyer can go ahead and see that invoice which has been uploaded by the supplier. So they can just click on view. They can see the details. Even buyer can download the invoice and supporting documents which has been submitted by the supplier. If they do not want, they can, if they just want to view that invoice and supporting document, they can click here and they can see that information. They can match these details with purchase order which has been processed by them. If they find that each and every information which is mentioned in the invoice copy is correct, they can go ahead and approve it. So as I was saying that we do have an approval engine here. So where level 1 approves the invoice, then it will go to level 2. Once every level approves this invoice, then this data will be pushed to the ERP, where invoice processing and posting will happen. Any question we have? Okay. Now moving to invoice status. So here supplier can go ahead and search any invoice as per the invoice number, PO number, or even date type. Okay, from to date, and we are providing here multiple status here. So buyer can select any one of the status. Okay, like let's say that buyer want to go ahead and see that paid invoice status, how many invoices which they have uploaded and got paid. So they just need to select here paid and click here search, and all the invoice will be will be visible here. Okay, so they can see that invoice number, invoice date, when it got uploaded, what was the PO number, and the original invoice amount, currency. Okay, and also like we are tracking a UTR number, the bank details number here. Okay, if they want to see how many invoices they have in progress, so that also can be done. So here you see that even it's coming with a remark, in progress invoice I'm talking about, so pending for quality check, tax details is incorrect. So this details would be coming from the ERP. Okay, and it will be the all the status will be changing as per the information which is coming from ERP to into this tool. Then even like we do have an option called credit note. If supplier wants to go ahead and upload any credit note for the invoice which they have submitted against the invoice which they have submitted. So that also details which we have here. Okay, And talking about vendor ledger, so this information, this option is providing that total outstanding amount which supplier is supposed to receive from the buyer side. So that also that information also can be tracked here. So that you can see the ledger outstanding amount. Okay, and it will give the total number of the number of invoices which they have uploaded. Okay, then we have an option called if they want to go ahead and request for the early payment. One second, please. So here you see that. Here we do have an option. So suppose if supplier has submitted an invoice where the invoice amount was value was this much. Now they are looking for a early, you can say that, payment, where they need a early, like, payment like 30 days before they want. So amount will be calculated here, the revised amount, and it will again ask you to approve it. Once you are okay with that, you provide your approval, and then uh, it will be processed and supplier will get the amount. Okay. One more option which we have here is announcement. If you want to roll out any kind of announcement to your suppliers, where you think that all the supplier has to or has to acknowledge the announcement which you have made it. So that also can be done. Any kind of compliance announcement also you want to roll it out. So that option can be used here. Okay. You can go ahead and click here the announcement. You can type that message here. So here you just click here new announcement. You can type the title here, expiry date also you can put it there. You can write the message, select the suppliers. Okay, all the suppliers would be visible here. If you want to send a communication to all the suppliers, select all, and then you can send this message to all the suppliers. Okay, one more feature which I'm going to show you now is spend analytics. If you want to have a track of your business, what is your total spend you have, how much supplier count you have, how many orders you have processed till now. So each and every information can be tracked here. Okay, if you want to go ahead and if you want to see any particular year spend, what was the total number of order which you have processed here, so that also can be tracked here. Okay, and along with that you can see that spend by category, spend by plant, spend by material group, we have spend by procurement, spend by statistics. So each and every information can be tracked. Also you can see that spend by top 20 supplier, bottom 20 suppliers. Okay, spend by purchasing group, spend by contract. So again, whatever the data is available and you want to have a information, you want to track something, so that also can be done here. Even like we have a subcategory group which you where like you can see that any category you see you select here. Let's say that here we have a spend by category. So each category is steel and raw material. So you can see that total spend of steel and raw material. Okay. So you can see here subcategory, material group, each and every information would be filtered as per your selection. And then you can see that spent by top 20 supplier, bottom 20 suppliers. Also, we are tracking here supplier performance. If you want to track any supplier performance, that also can be done here. The total number of, you see here, total number of order which has been delivered. Okay, which has been delivered on time, total number of order which we have created. You can select any supplier name here from here, and you can see the result. You can select as per financial year, quarter as well. So here you see that the delivery status which we have here. So almost uh, 91% the delivery is happening on time. Only 9% deliveries is where we need to work on it. So there we have a back orders. Again, same goes with quality performance. Okay, that number of quality which we have ordered, whether supplier is delivering all the quantity at once or not, and out of which if suppose you have order for 10 quantity, out of which if there are two damage, That also we are tracking here. Then delivery ware plant also we can track, delivery ware category also we can track here. Like we see that top 10 supplier quality status. So here you can see that most of the supplier, they are able to deliver the quantity with quality. Here also we are seeing that there are a couple of supplier who is not able to meet 100%. Same goes with delivery statistics as well, where you see that most of the supplier is able to maintain 100%, and there are supplier who is not able to maintain that. So you can see this report, and based on that you can take the decision which would be beneficial for your business. You can connect with your supplier, you can understand their challenges, whether they are receiving the order on time or not. So you can have a discussion with them, you can take a decision based on that. Any question?
There are a couple of questions. I
Yes,
just read it
please.
out.
Mhm.
First question is from Santosh Kumar mentioning, are all ERP systems compatible with Velocious?
Yes.
Yeah, so
So
yeah, go ahead.
any ERP which you are using it, let's say I'm taking an example of SAP or SAP S4 HANA, in any module in SAP. Or let's say that if you're using Readsoft, if you're using Oracle, you are using Tally, any ERP which you are using it, which can be integrated seamlessly with this portal. There is another question which we see from Bharat Kumar: in case if we have a multiple line items in PO, how the invoice quantity is added. Okay, so here what will happen that, suppose if a PO has a multiple line item, so at the time of where supplier will go ahead and upload the invoice for the particular POs. So once they select the PO, all the line item would be visible. Okay, suppose if supplier is going ahead and uploading a invoice for one line item, so supplier can select the particular line item and upload the invoice. Or if that invoice copy has all the multiple line items as per the PO, okay, so they can select all the line items while uploading the invoice. Okay, and suppose if the line item was created for 10 quantity and now supplier is going to submit for 5 quantity, so yes, we do have an option there where supplier can go ahead and select the number of quantity for which they are uploading the invoice. Okay, and if there would be any field where we need to make certain changes, so yes, we can sit together, we can discuss about that, we can see whether it's feasible or not, and based on that we can make the changes in this portal. It's very much customizable or configurable as per your need. Any other question we have here?
I don't think if there's any other question. Yeah, we'll take. I mean, we're just past our time, about
Yes,
2-3 minutes overboard. But if you have any questions, yeah, please let us know. We still have. We'll take a minute or two. Is it possible to
I
categorize
can
vendors
see. I
automatically
can
based
see.
on their
Yes.
range of products? If you want to send RFQ to vendors of a particular set, let's say concrete, can we select that category and send RFQ to all vendors? Is the next question.
Yes. So now our next you can say that update will be rolling out by month of December, where like we are working on this. Yes, it would be, you would be having an option to choose the category of the vendor, and then it would be very easy, or it would be very easy for you to select those supplier which pertains to that category while floating the RFQ.
There's another question, what will be the cost of your service? So Mohit, what we have done is that we have modularized our Velocious S2P platform. So it's in I mean, kind of modularized in terms of different modules like Velocious e-sourcing, Velocious supplier portal, Velocious S2P full platform, Velocious invoice portal. So, depending on what modules you would eventually require, we can definitely send out, costs for that. Most of these have license costs, associated with it, plus implementation charges, and license renewal and all. So we can discuss all of the costs once we discuss your exact case. I mean, use case. What all modules would you be looking at? So yeah, we can definitely get in touch with you if you want to see a demo, a detailed demo, or yeah, to get your requirements basically.
I think one more question we have from Ramakrishna. He has raised his hand.
Okay, sorry.
So,
Yeah,
sir, please type your question, sir.
yeah. I can also, yeah, maybe you can go ahead and
Yeah,
go
can I
ahead.
audible now?
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah. You are seeing all the invoice processing and purchase order processing. In between that, if we want to exchange any commercial documents, like for the ICCL documents or else any Form A or Form B, if you want to exchange all the documents through your portal, is it feasible to exchange the documents also?
So you are looking for those documents from supplier side, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that is
Yes.
what I'm saying, sir. So see, I'll tell you. So where we do have an option in supplier onboarding form to upload certain documents. Okay, so there what we can do that
Mm,
we will create a reminder.
mm,
Okay, so whenever that document is
mm,
nearing to the expiry date, so buyer will get a notification,
mm.
and then buyer can do a follow up with supplier and they can ask for the documents. As I said that even like supplier can go ahead and change the data. They can go ahead and update the profile. So that is what it is.
Yeah.
So even supplier can go ahead and upload that info, that supporting documents which you are looking for into their profile, and again it will follow the validation process and approval process where you can approve, you can go and validate and approve it. And once it is approved, then it will be sent to your ERP.
Then it goes to commercial approval also. Then we have to take the commercial loop into the commercial also will had an approval in this.
Again,
The
see,
ICCL documents are all taken.
all the approval will happen from your internal team itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we can wind up today. We'll definitely get in touch with each of you. We'll send in the presentation used. And then of course follow up with you for the feedback of the webinar, as well as if you're looking at it. Specifically, if you want to do a demo with your extended teams in presence, we can do that as well, right? So, one last time, thank you everyone for joining in for today's webinar. Hope it was informative, and yeah, we'll see you at the next one. So thank you very much. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you, everyone.